Alright, so I'm just going to do a deck tech on this Mono Blue Tron deck that I'm going to be playing today. This is a pretty standard Mono Blue Tron deck. It's not a deck that I came up with. It's a deck that's been floating around Modern. It's pretty popular. It's not super expensive to build. So when I decided I wanted to put together a Modern deck, I wanted to put together a budget deck. There were three decks that I was really considering. One was Mono Green Infect, one was Mono Red Burn, and the third was this Mono Blue Tron deck. So Mono Red Burn is fairly budget, but Goblin Guides are up to like $20 or $30 a piece now. So a lot of the value in the deck is just in Goblin Guides, and they're very important to the deck to put together. And I also have put this deck together in paper, so when you have to build a deck twice, you don't want to spend a lot of money. So this deck has a Sundering Titan and a Wormcoil Engine, which are a little bit pricey, but not unreasonable. They're less than Goblin Guides. And then there's an Oblivion Stone and some Remands that I'm borrowing from a friend. But otherwise, the deck's pretty reasonable. So the goal of the deck is to use the Urza's lands to just make a lot of colorless mana, and then you can put one of these giant artifacts into play really quickly. So you've got Sundering Titan, can come down and mess up people's mana, and then it's a giant creature. We've got Platinum Angel, which decks like a Mono Green Infect can't really beat game one most of the time. We've got a Triskelevis. A lot of people are not running Triskelevis or Triskelion or anything like that. I like to have it. I like to have a way to make some blockers, deal damage to little guys, and it's just very good with Academy Ruins. So I'm trying that out. That's one of my little tweaks to the deck. There's a Wormcoil Engine. It is very good against like Burn, where you need to gain life. There's a Steel Hellkite, which is strong against decks like Affinity that have lots of cheap creatures that you can blow up for not a lot of mana when you hit them. I'm running a single Mindslaver. A lot of lists are running two. I tested two for a while, was drawing it a lot, and you really only need one to lock them with the Academy Ruins. You can recur the Mindslaver every turn and beat them that way. And then I'm also running a Staff of Nin. I tried this just because it was a big artifact that I had a copy of already, and I've actually been pretty impressed with it. It kills Inkmoth Nexus. It kills actually a lot of the guys from the Infect decks. It kills just random tokens from like Elspeth Knight Errant or Lingering Souls. And it just draws you a card every turn. So the deck has a lot of incidental card draws. So like you're drawing a card off of Remand, you're drawing a card off of Treasure Mage, you're drawing cards with Thirst for Knowledge. And it's nice to just be able to just keep that card flow just coming just all the way in. So we've got some cheap spells here, some X spells. We've got some Condescends to counter their stuff. We've got some Repeals to bounce their stuff. You can scry, you can draw cards. We've got Expedition Maps to finish the Tron set or get Academy Ruins. We've got a couple of Spell Snares just to counter like Cranial Plating and stuff. We've got Remand just to buy turns, gain some tempo. We've got some Artifact Mana just to give us more blue mana and give us more artifacts to discard to Thirst for Knowledge. We've got a single Oblivion Stone just to clear the board. Oblivion Stone is better for the main deck because it combos with Academy Ruins. And then for decks like Melirapod, we have the Perilous Vault to bring in when it's important to exile their stuff too. And then we have the big guys and the Treasure Mages to get the big guys. So in the sideboard, we've got a full set of Steel Sabotage for Affinity. We've got a Spell Burst, which I like to bring in against Infect to counter their little guys. When you get to the late game, just lock them out. Or you can bring it in against like Pyromancer Storm and just stop their rituals and stuff. We've got a Relic of Progenitus, again for the Pyromancer Storm decks. Just stop their Past in Flames. And then if anybody's doing anything with their graveyard as well, this will come in. We've got some Flash Freezes to come in against Burn or the green decks. Just stop stuff like Courser of Kruphix, Huntmaster of the Fells, Olivia out of the Jund decks. Just random stuff like that. We've got some Sun Droplets that I'm going to try for Burn. I don't know if these are going to really do enough, but we will see. And then, like I said, we've got the Perilous Vault for like Melirapod decks where you want to exile their stuff. So I'm going to play one game in tournament practice and one game in a 2-man just to give you some stuff for how this deck works. Thank you for watching.